So, first, let me tell you that Clara and I delighted to be here with everybody tonight. It's even more of a pleasure to introduce two of our favorite people in the world. Of course, we're somewhat biased. Lisa is our best younger daughter, and Tal is the best son-in-law of all of our son-in-laws, possibly because he's the only one. But as you may have seen and heard, there are two spectacular people and one hell of a couple. Their attitude is always endeavoring to be helpful, always listening to people and their problems, always trying to be helpful in terms of solving those problems. They're sensitive to the needs of others. This particular honor is fitting. Lisa and Tal are both passionate and committed to Israel and America, and do great good for the American Jewish community because they bring it all together. I think back to the lives that Clara and I have led together for only 66 years. And I say to myself, they're not much different. We're extraordinarily proud of both of them. So what we'd like to say to both of you, Israel desperately needs more people with your devotion, dedication, commitment to making it and the world a better place for all of us. It's your sense of love, your sense of compassion, your innate desire to be helpful to people, whoever they are, wherever they may be, whatever their upbringing, whatever their religious convictions. You've got enormous heart, and we all bless you both for it. You're setting the most wonderful example for your kids, and it's just a question of time until this continues to grow. But you're setting the best example, the very best example you could possibly set in this world that desperately needs more of such examples. So all we could say is simply, don't stop doing what you're doing. It's fabulous, and we can't have too much of it. Congratulations.
Yes. The best thing we can do is leave right now on a high note, but I have a few things to say. First, we're so honored to be here and thank all of you for supporting the America-Israel Friendship League. And I also want to congratulate our fellow recipients. I'm not going to name them all, but we're in very good company. For us, Israel and the United States are home. We have deeply rooted foundations, family ties, business ventures in both places, but above all, a devotion to Israel, a place that holds the most inspirational story of really any nation. A people summoned to improve the lives of others into a better future should be known as such. A country that churns out leading innovations in so many arenas should be sought after. A nation that is first to assist with humanitarian efforts around the world when disaster strikes should be cherished. Israel should be known as a global treasure, recognized, defended, and protected as a necessity for everyone's well-being. The problem is not Israel, but the inability to permeate the severe misconceptions that exist. The space between fact and fiction continues to broaden and seems baked into this worldview that's trending away from the truth. And as much as we bring politicians and educators and leaders of various faiths to learn of the culture and the extraordinary achievements, the overwhelming majority does not see Israel for what it is. Part of strengthening the relationship between Israel and the United States requires us to portray and represent Israel in a broader and more strategic manner. We need to be more Israeli, more resourceful, and underline the contrast so we can paint the real picture showing the resilient culture that we celebrate and not do so in a silo. They are not a country to bask in the glow of their fortitude, their humanity, and their intellectual distinction. When the best teaching hospital goes out to raise capital, donors know the cause. When we go out and ask for alliance, people should not have to ask why, but rather how, as they should understand the cause. The incentive for support should not have to be justified. It should be known. There's always a constellation of challenges that can weaken ties, which is why perception does matter. Just as we educate our children and our grandchildren, passing down our heritage as our lifeblood, so do others pass down their beliefs against Israel by a factor of over 100 to 1. In universities across the nation, the bedrock principle of freedom of speech allows for both anti-Israel platforms using false rhetoric and allows others to defend the truth. But when leaders bestow awards to those that denounce Israel using false commentary, they betray and forfeit the principle of education, of truth, and accuracy. Social media has the ability to unite millions that denounce Israel, curating their own history without paying any homage to the truth. Administrations change, global policies change. Some of these challenges can be met if we can widen and sharpen the national lens through which the majority can see what's at stake, whether through social media, strategic branding, leveraging our university board positions against the rising tide of misinformation, creating a national coalition of best-in-class professionals that can come together and brainstorm how best we can help a nation that we all need. To us in this room, the arc of common sense stretches towards eternal alliance, transcending politics. But those beliefs sit in the vacuum primarily of the Jewish community. We have an exceptional, profound story of a country the size of a postage stamp compared to the envelope of surrounding threat. A force of nature that is never content, but intent on exceeding what is. A startup nation bursting with technology unicorns. One that tips the scales, weighted by their contributions, not by their numbers. They don't see glass ceilings. Their benchmark, is limited only by their imagination, fueled with the purpose to progress and improve, all while defending themselves and serving as the only democratic heartbeat in the Middle East. Whether we like it or not, we have all inherited a responsibility to change the national conversation, which will help foster relations and deepen ties. The America-Israel Friendship League does a tremendous job to promote friendship between the United States and Israel in so many ways. We all need to help set the table for the next generation, which brings me to this table here, where our children are. I want to thank everybody for coming, my whole family. And we know you probably won't remember a word that was said tonight, but we truly hope that you remember what's important and continue the effort in your way. We love you. Thank you.
I'll say a couple words. My father-in-law taught me two very important words that are yes, dear. The most important words in my life. And my wife told me don't speak too much, so yes, dear. I'll make it as short as I can. This year, I am turning a record, they call it in Israel, right? Flipping a record. They usually say it when you serve in the army in the middle of your service. So this year, it's exactly the time when I've been in Israel, living in Israel, and in America, living in America, the same amount of time. So I'm flipping a record. And I feel 100% Israeli and 100% American, which is, we have the America-Israel Friendship League here in one house, which helps. The relationship between the two nations, to my belief, is both the strongest, with some fractures in some other places, but it's the most important one. Israel is kind of sitting at the front line of a very difficult neighborhood, but if Israel was not there, that neighborhood would come very quickly here. And at the same time, Israel needs America, all of us, to help. It's a democracy, it's good people with good values, the most important values. At our home, I have learned not just the meaning of the America-Israel, and we have kids here and a grandson that hopefully will learn. He's just 7 months old. You saw a picture of him. And I volunteered. You call it volunteered? I became the baby nurse, volunteering or not, I don't know. That's my job, because apparently Israelis can wake up in the middle of the night and go to bed quickly. So you're laughing. I'm changing diapers. And it is what it is. But it's the best experience. So thank you to my daughter and her husband, Alex, for giving us a grandchild, which is a continuation of this America-Israel friendship and relationship. To all of you, I thank you from the AIFL, from the honorees that are coming. I got Pfizer, by the way. There's the booster and the vaccination. I also take Teva's medicine, the generics. So, and I love the Azrieli building. So we're all good, in good place. And I appreciate all of you tolerating us. Thank you very much. And let's move to the next honorees. Thank you.